Alright, so hello, welcome to my channel. I am Wild Daisy and I go hiking. Today we are doing the, what trail are we on? The Burnside Trail at James River State Park. I am lucky to live in Virginia and there is so much wilderness around me. The Blue Ridge Mountains are literally in my backyard. Right now, if you look around, I am surrounded by Mother Nature and I love it. So come on my channel, subscribe, make some comments, like my videos. Let me know what you like seeing, what you don't like seeing. And I'll try to make the channel just as much yours as it is mine. I do have a couple hikers that I follow. So let me know what kind of hikers you like to watch videos of. And we will go on the trail together one way or another. Right, let's try this again. So today is Monday, April the 20th. We are at James River State Park. We're about to do 3.4 miles on the Burnside loop. It's only 350 feet of elevation, so not terribly bad at all. We do want to make sure that we are bear aware. These are important rules you want to follow when you're out in the woods. Bears do not hibernate all winter like people think they do, although it's April, so they're all awake now. They've had some babies and everything good is going on in the woods with the bears. Another thing is trail etiquette. So hikers yield to horses. Bikes yield to horses and trail hikers, and horses yield to no one. So the horse is the trail boss. Here are some other trails and happenings at the James River State Park. You can pause it and check it out if you would like. I thought this was pretty cool. I'm not a biker, but this is pretty neat. So this is like a a stationary bike shop. So all these tools are on these like little metal pulley systems, so you can work on your bike if you have something going on and you're out here trail riding. We're gonna get started on our hike. So Burnside Loop is not horseback rider friendly. We'll figure that out when we are on the trail, why that would be. Also, I forgot to mention that I got my new hiking shoes. They're Ultra Trail Runner, I believe 6. This is going to be my first official hike in them. I did do a 2-mile road walk where I live. They worked out pretty good. My feet were already sore from my very old hiking shoes. So we'll see how they do. My feet are feeling better now. Also, we need to make sure that we're watching out for snakes because we do live where there are copperheads and timber rattlesnakes. So we definitely do not want to get bit by a snake. That would not be good. All right, I'll check back in with you in a little while and show you what the trail. All right, it's hard to tell on these videos sometimes, but this is a cute little up and down real quick. Trail's pretty well marked. Looks like to be reflective trail markers on the trees. So I guess you could technically hike this at night. It's pretty flat. I seem to be the only one out here. So maybe we will encounter no one today. Usually I'm out hiking on the Appalachian Trail, but I decided to mix it up a little bit since I only live 38 minutes from the James River State Park. I figured, what the heck, let's go check it out. Plus, I would like to get my youngest out on the trail more. She's not a super big fan of the hiking. Hiking is hard. But I've been watching some videos with her where there's this lady, I can't think of her name right now, who hikes with her daughter. Her daughter is, let's say, under 3 in the videos. They go hiking all over the place, actually. They live in, I believe, like Washington State. They do winter hiking. It's pretty amazing. I don't know that I would want to do that. She's carrying like 80 pounds on her back, and then her toddler on her front. It's very excessive, but pretty awesome that she's getting out there, getting her kid out there, exposure in nature. It's pretty neat. Little trails like lined with moss. But we are just give you the scan of where we're at. Sorry, don't have my lungs breathing hard because I'm trying to talk and walk and hold the camera as still as possible. So this is a nice trail. It is actually a little chilly this morning. We had a freeze warning last night. There's definitely frost on the windshield when I went out to take the kids to the bus stop. We got a freeze warning tonight. So I am layered up. Got my fleece on. Already starting to get hot though. Fleece on. I got a sun shirt on. I got my trail runners and some moisture wicking pants on. Let's see. I don't think there's any views on this trail. Like I said, I was just kind of trying to get out there and get some miles in. Here's another one of those markers. I do have it pulled up on my all trails, so I can check periodically in case I feel like maybe I went the wrong way. But you can see that there's an actual trail here, so pretty confident that I'm not going the wrong way. A cool rock. Also, weird thing. This is only like the 3rd time I've been to this park, even though it's right near me. And this is the first time that there was no one at the ranger station. So I actually had to scan a QR code and pay the little $5 fee with my credit card, debit card. So I know the last couple times that I went, thick moss here, the last couple times that I came here, it was like dead of summer, so maybe they don't have anybody at the ranger station for a couple more weeks. Not sure. All right, I hiked a little bit. Figured I'd pick you back up. Going down and we're right back up again. Calling out, hey bear, making sure that if there is any bear, that they are aware that I am in the woods, walking around. You don't want to really walk in silence, unless like you're trying to sneak up on a bear, because they're out here doing their thing, and we don't want to sneak up on them and scare them. Bears are not meat eaters. However, they are highly capable of doing a lot of damage. So we want to make sure that we don't startle them. We want to make sure that we're sharing the trail with them and always giving him, any of them, their distance. So Like I said, no views on this trail other than being in the middle of the woods. These are mountain laurels, I believe, or rhododendron. No, they're mountain laurels. But they have yet to bloom. You can see they're close. Not as fragrant as I thought they would be. This is, I don't know if you can see it. If you can notice that there is a spider web right there. That is, they're all over the ground right now. Big wolf spiders. You don't want one of them crawling up your pant leg either. Also, there's a lot of blowdown trees. So we're going through this other little green area. So we'll make sure we'll keep talking. If you paused it and read that sign, it says, always make sure you're talking when you're going around a bend. Because you never know when you come around that corner what's going to be over there on the trail. So it's important, like I said, to make sure the wildlife knows that you're there. You also don't want to give a squirrel or a possum or raccoon a heart attack, because we are trying to be good stewards in nature. Always remember to leave no trace. If you packed it in, you need to pack it out. If you have room and you find trash on the trail, you should also be taking that with you when you leave. Oh, here's a big jumble of trees. Looks like they had to come and clear the trail. Yo, these people that do trail maintenance, total angels. Like, I can't even believe it, because sometimes my little, whatever it is, 10 to 15 pound day hiking pack feels heavy to me. And these people are out here carrying chainsaws around with them and hiking these trails and, clearing brush and everything like that. And they aren't even, a lot of times they're not even hikers. They're just people that want to do public works. All right. It's actually a really pretty trail. It's kind of peaceful. I really am liking this moss growing on the trail. It's actually very cushy. Kind of feels like I'm walking on cork. Or it could be the new trail runners, not sure. But as you can see, there is a lot of dead or dying trees. So another thing that you want to watch out for when you're out on the trail is trees blowing down on you. Be mindful. I never can understand. Sorry about that. My phone rang and I am new to this videoing. What I was trying to say was, I never understand people who hike with earbuds in. Sorry, because if you have earbuds in, one, are you soaking in the nature? Two, what if something's coming at you and you don't hear it? Like, you need to be aware. So be thoughtful of that. Also, yes, they tell you to sing when you're on trail, to make sure that you're letting the wildlife know that you're coming. But I don't believe you should be out here with your radio playing and blasting music either. You should just, all you really need is to talk. Bears have good hearing. They're going to hear you. You don't need to be blasting your music. Not sure how I'm going to upload these videos. Like, I'm very new to YouTube. I'm not super technical, so I don't know how to, looks like it goes that way, and it goes this way. We are gonna follow the moss. Not sure how I'm gonna upload these videos. I know I'm doing a lot of talking on this video. I apologize. That is really weird. I don't know if this is the trail or not. Oh, trail marker. We're on the trail. I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to like splice the videos together, or I might post them in segments. So if I post them in segments, I guess I'll do like part 1, part 2, so on and so forth. So that way if you're trying to actually watch them and listen to what I'm saying, you can watch them in that order. If you're trying to watch them and you don't want to hear what I'm saying, you can just turn the volume down and check out the nature. Pretty cool routes. A lot of tripping hazards. I definitely suggest hiking poles. Even if you're just going to hike a little bit, you do not need the $100 ones. These were $20 at Sierra's. You don't need to spend a lot of money. It's not necessary. I have a complete backpacking loadout that I spent less than $1,000 on it. It is not tested completely yet. I have used my tent a handful of times and my sleeping pad and everything, but I have not hiked out on trail with my backpack yet. I have hiked 2 miles on my road with it, but I have not tested it on the trail, so I don't want to give any names or reviews or anything like that. But once I do, I will definitely let you know what I think of it. You do not need to spend a lot of money to get out in nature, but you do also want to have some kind of gear. Always have some kind of emergency kit with you. Tripped a little bit. All right, I'm gonna pause it so I can walk a little bit more normal, and I'll pick y'all back up in a minute. But as you can see, I am still completely in the woods. Beautiful day out. It's kind of hot. I might take my fleece layer off while I pause the video here, and I'll pick you back up in a little bit. So I just got my fleece off, and I'm standing here staring at this tree, drinking some water. And if you zoom in, you'll see there's a wasp nest right on the tree. And it blends in really good. So if you're not paying attention, that's how you could find yourself in trouble in the woods. That could have been a tree that you leaned up against or stuck your poles against to take your one of your layers off, and you could get lit up. I mean, it's not very noticeable unless you're paying attention. So it doesn't look active, but we're also not going to find out because I'm not interested in running from a wasp today. They will definitely chase you for a while, so you don't want to tangle with that. It said there was only, I think it was 503 feet of elevation on this trail, but definitely can feel it going up. So that's nice, even though it's a relatively short one, 3.4 miles, small elevation. I can feel it, so that's good. Nice little workout. Almost sounds like, nope, it's just a breeze. I thought I was hearing a stream. Sometimes a stream is going to sound the same as just the breeze going through the trees. Sometimes you got to stop and listen for a minute to know exactly what's going on. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it on the video, but we're gonna dip back down and come right back up again on the trail. Don't really need my trekking poles for this, but if you were maybe a beginner hiker and you hadn't gone out on too many trails before and you were, nervous, I'd probably bring my poles to this one. Like I said, I definitely recommend them. They've saved my face more than once. But they're not completely necessary on this trail. There doesn't seem to be too many tripping hazards. But like I said, normally I'm up in the mountains on the Appalachian Trail, Blue Ridge Mountains, right in my backyard, literally. So it's super rocky up there. It's not as bad as Pennsylvania on the AT, but there's definitely rocks out there in Virginia. Don't let them lie to you. They're out there. Not sure how many miles I'm in right now. I need to get like a watch or something that's going to tell me how many miles I've walked, so that way I can let y'all know while I'm videoing without having to go in and out of my apps on my phone. There's another trail marker letting us know we're on the right path. You'll find some trails are really good, really well marked. Some trails, not so much. If you're going to be in an area where you don't have service and you're using like All Trails, I highly recommend downloading the trail, taking pictures of the trail map. That way, while you're on trail, you're able to spiderweb right in my face. That way, while you're on trail, you're able to pull up the trail and see, if you feel like you're going the right way. Most trails are going to have switchbacks, and what I like to do, me and my normal hiking partner, Katie did. She is not here today. That's her trail name. Mine is Wild Daisy. We like to count the switchbacks. So I'll tell her, she'll be like, oh my goodness, are we almost there? I'll pull up the map. I'm usually the keeper of the map. She doesn't like to be technical. And I'll tell her, 5 more switchbacks. Sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, it's only 3 more switchbacks. It's really 6, but then I'm like, oh, let me pull up that map again. Especially when we're climbing high elevation. We're not young. We're not super fit. But we do have our hiking legs. What is that? giant spider web here. So I just knocked it down with my poles. I could see the spider in the middle of the, look how, I don't know if you can see that, y'all, but holy pollen all over my pants and my shoes. Gross. Anyway, there was a big spider in the middle of the trail on his web, so I knocked him down. I didn't feel like taking him on the rest of the hike with us. I really hope y'all like these videos. If you're watching these videos and you're like, oh, that's annoying, or I want to see more of this, let me know in the comments. I know for myself, I like to see what the trail looks like. I like to get hiking information. I like to know what kind of weather. Have they seen any animals? I like to hear other trail stories. But that might be not your cup of tea. So let me know what you're liking, what you're not liking. There's another trail marker. So I can let y'all see and get the information that y'all want. There's so much pollen out here. I'm about to die. Check out this huge blow-down tree. Let me see if I can get an angle where you can see how tall, you see it going on and on, that tree was. I don't want to say it looks rotten, but I can't see the top of it either, so. But when you are backpacking, sorry, I just made my phone all weird. If you're out backpacking, you want to, there's another spider. Get out of the middle of the trail. Get out. You want to make sure that you look up when you're picking your tent site. I don't want to say a lot of people, but people have been injured because they set up their tent site where trees were able to, or not able to, where trees fell down in the middle of the night and, injured them, wrecked their gear. And if you're out there in the woods far, it's going to be hard to get someone out there to rescue you. And if you're severely injured, it can definitely be a problem. So again, aware of your surroundings. As you can see, I'm even noticing spiders webbing up across the trail. So you want to be paying attention. Here's another dead tree leaning on this tree. All it would take is a strong wind, and that helper tree that's holding it up could fall down, or the limb could break and cause this rotten tree right here to fall down on you. So, they're everywhere. I don't know if you can see them in the videos, but there's a lot of trees leaning out here. So, you got to be aware. There's another big boy right here. Yes, almost everything is a boy to me. Out in nature. Oh, look at this boy. That is huge. Huge. Here you go. I'll give you a little perspective. Let me flip my... Well, I guess I can't. All right, so we're about 2 miles in on the trail. We got one more right turn, big right turn, and we'll actually be heading back to the car already. Trail's been very, very good. Couple big downs where there were downward hills that were a little slippery. As you can see, there is so much leaf litter. Check out my shoes. Look at all the pollen. I mean, that's crazy. They were brand new when I got on the trail. They only had 2 miles of road walking on them. So yes, there's definitely pollen out there. If you have allergies, I would definitely take an allergy pill before you get out on the trail so you're not sneezing your whole trail. Also, if you are hiking in the area that you actually live in, the best thing to do is get some raw honey, unfiltered raw local honey, and eat some every day. I think honey's delicious. But yeah, do like a tablespoon a day. You can put it in your coffee. You can just eat it right off the spoon. But what it does is the bees are collecting the pollen from all the flowers and everything around us. And that's the kind of stuff that, you know, people become allergic to or are allergic to. So eating the honey will help you. It's kind of like, I'm not a scientist or a doctor, but it kind of like microdoses you and will basically, you know, exposure here, exposure there, and you become less bothered by it. So there you go. That's my advice. Take it or leave it. I have seen no one on this trail. So I literally been walking and talking to myself. Really haven't seen too much of anything. Sometimes that's a good thing. Going downhill a little bit here. Like I said, it's very slippery on these downhills because of the excessive amount of leaf litter. Kind of surprised that there is so much leaf litter. We actually got, let's stop for the flowers. Where are they in my video? Hold on. Please hold. There they are. Look how beautiful they are. They're so tiny. They're so tiny. Again, be aware. Look at where you're walking. Oh, what are these signs? No hunting. Safety zone. You should always, that's another thing I should cover on some of my videos, is you should always have at least one bright color that's visible on your person when you're hiking, because you will hike through some areas that people could potentially be hunting in. So you want to make sure that you're not dressed in all camouflage and, you know, for some reason, somebody that's hunting thinks that you look like a white-tailed deer and shoots you. You know, and I say all this not to scare you, but like I said, you know, get out on the trail, be in nature, breathe in the good fresh air, but, you know, be careful. Don't just get out there with having no knowledge whatsoever. That's how you're going to get yourself into trouble. Know your ability, know your limits. You know, I hike pretty often, but I would not go out there and be like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go climb Mount Everest. It's not something that I would be capable of doing for quite a number of reasons. But like I said, know your limits. Start with an easy trail. You know, you can go on, I use All Trails. I use the free version. I don't pay for it. It's pretty good. You can read people's comments about, hey, I hiked this trail. This is what I thought. But find one that's flat. Find one that doesn't have a lot of elevation gain. And get out there and hike a little bit. It is so good for the soul. So good for the soul. And I'm tripping all over the place right now. Here's another tree across the trail. This tree is, I call it the helper tree. It's holding it up. Like I said, be aware. Look down at your feet, see where you're walking, but also know what is, oh, golly. Look at that. It barely has any tree left to hold that sucker up. But it is very big and being held up by a helper tree that is very skinny. So be careful out there. Oh, look. There's a little bit of a spring here. I do have my water filter on, but that water looks pretty disgusting. So it doesn't look like it's running very good. We are definitely in need of rain in Virginia. It did rain for a little bit on Sunday, but we're in a burn ban, so we need water. We need it to rain so we can have crops to grow, and we got a lot of farmers in my area, so pray for rain. And not just a little bit. We need a lot of rain to get these crops going. It's very important. Know where your food comes from. A couple of deer just ran across the trail. Thought I had my video out, but of course it was my camera, and I probably didn't even get a shot of them. But still cool. Wow, massive amount of blowdowns right here. Like, I almost wonder, like, there has to be a blight or something. Like, that's insane. Completely insane. Holy smokes, there's a lot. I mean, wow. Like, we have not had a big storm in the area to be knocking all these trees down like this. Now you have to decide, are you going under it or are you going over it? Under it, over it. Ooh, that tree just scared the crap out of me. Yeah, it's nuts. Like, I don't know why so many trees are falling down here. They're just everywhere, down on the ground. All of them. All right, well, let's get under it. I'm not trying not to spill my water. The way I have my water set up, if I lean forward too much, it starts spilling down my shoulder, and that's pretty annoying, especially when it's the one that has the electrolytes in it, because then sometimes it's like sticky, so that's gross. Even though I am almost on the trail. Golly, look at this. That's crazy. It looks like a tree graveyard. Wow. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Let me zoom in. We are, like I said, almost on the trail. That is a road down there. So, overall, trail was cool. Don't know why all these trees are knocked over. Kind of eerie. Lots of spider webs and dead leaves and mega amounts of pollen. Only saw deer. I don't want to jinx myself. Not done the trail yet, but so far I only saw deer and spiders. But like I said, I can see the road right there, so I know I have to be close to the parking lot. And I lost the trail. Oh, there's a trail marker. But overall, trail was a nice little workout. Definitely would come back again. I definitely think the girls could do it, meaning my youngest and her buddy that lives up the road. Me and her mom might have to take them here and go for a little hike with the girls, and then we could take them down to the James River. That would probably be the only way we could get them to come on this trail with us, is if we told them that we were going to take them to the river afterwards, because they're river rats. They'd rather be swimming than hiking. So much pollen on this trail, and I don't usually have any kind of allergies, but I feel like I got hit with a pollen bomb. More, like I said, I don't know what's going on here. Well, this is interesting. So this tree fell down first to this one, and then this one fell on top of it, and then it hit this tree, so part of it snapped here. Yeah, you really have to be careful, because you could definitely get hurt if you're not being careful. Like, look at this tree. Can we see the lighter color tree right here? Do you notice that it almost looks like it's floating? Because it is. It's hung up somewhere up there, and it's floating. And it will eventually fall, and hopefully no one is underneath of it. But there are so many downed trees. So strange, because like I said, I don't live far from here at all, and I don't recall us having a big storm that would have knocked down this many trees. It's really incredible. I don't know what that is over there. But yeah, incredible. Going back to the beginning of the trail, maybe that's why this is a non-equestrian trail. Like I said, I've only hiked the Tye River Overlook Trail here, so this is only the second time I've been out here for a hike. So possibly this may usually be a trail that equestrians can go on, but due to the amount of blowdowns and the fact that it hasn't all been cleared off the trail, may be a reason why it's a non-equestrian trail right now. The signs could be new. I'm not sure about that. All right, and we are officially at the end of the trail. Well, not officially, but we're almost there. I can see my car. So, like I said, review of the trail, pretty good. Basically zero wildlife. I see deer every day, so I don't know if I would count deer as something cool to see in the woods. I see them all the time. That's pretty cool, though. Do you see that? Thank you, Jesus. Thank you for what you did for me. Thank you for what you did for us.